Don't cry, your daughter is alive. The rain had not stopped for 3 days. Cold winds swept through the dark corners of the city, bending the flickering streetlights, and turning the alleyways into rivers of mud. Amid the chaos of rushing cars and the blare of sirens, a young homeless girl sat curled beneath an old bridge, clutching a tattered blanket around her shoulders. Her name was Maya, and she hadn't eaten in 2 days. She was no stranger to hunger, or to pain. But what hurt most wasn't the emptiness in her stomach, it was the emptiness in her heart. For as long as she could remember, she'd lived alone. No family, no friends, just a stray among strangers. Yet, despite her misery, there was a strange gentleness in her eyes, the kind that life's cruelty couldn't erase. That night, as thunder cracked the sky, Maya heard a faint sound, a man sobbing. It came from across the street, from a silver car parked near the bridge. Curious, and a little afraid, she crept closer. Inside the car sat an older man in a dark suit. His hair was gray, his face pale with exhaustion. His trembling hands held a photograph, the picture of a little girl with golden curls and a wide smile. Maya watched quietly, hidden by the shadows, as the man pressed the photo to his chest and whispered, "I'm sorry, Lily. I'm so sorry I couldn't save you." The pain in his voice pierced Maya's heart. She had seen grief before, in hospitals, in shelters, in the eyes of people who'd lost everything. But this man's sorrow felt deeper, rawer, as if the whole world had been torn away from him. Something inside her urged her to go to him. But what could a homeless girl possibly say to a man who looked like he'd had everything? Still, she couldn't walk away. A chance meeting. Maya hesitated, then stepped into the light. "Sir, are you okay?" she asked softly. The man looked up, startled. His eyes, red and tired, blinked at her. "Who are you?" he asked sharply. "Go away." I'm sorry," Maya stammered. "You just looked like you were hurting." The man sighed, shaking his head. "You wouldn't understand." Maya hesitated, then whispered, "Maybe I would." He frowned, about to dismiss her again, but something in her voice, the quiet sincerity, stopped him. He took a deep breath. "My name is Richard Hayes," he said. "I used to be a CEO, used to have everything. But 5 years ago, I lost my daughter. She was kidnapped, and never found." Maya's eyes widened. I'm sorry," she whispered. He nodded weakly. Her name was Lily. She was only 6. I've spent every day since then looking for her, hoping for a miracle. But tonight, I finally accepted the truth. His voice broke. She's gone. Tears filled Maya's eyes. She didn't know why, but her heart began pounding hard, as if something deep within her had been stirred. "Do you have any picture of her?" Maya asked. Richard handed her the small photograph, the same one he had been clutching. Maya stared at it for a long moment. The girl's eyes, bright green, innocent, felt strangely familiar. Her throat tightened. "She's beautiful." Richard smiled sadly. "She was my world." For a long time, they sat in silence, the millionaire and the homeless girl, two strangers bound by invisible pain. The memory. That night, Richard couldn't sleep. He drove back to his mansion, a grand, lonely place full of memories, and for the first time in years, he prayed. Not for wealth, not for forgiveness, but for peace. Meanwhile, under the bridge, Maya clutched her blanket tighter. But she couldn't stop thinking about him, and about the little girl in the photo. Her mind began to flicker with old, blurry images. A woman's laughter. A white house with a red door. A man's deep voice calling, "Lily, don't run too far." She gasped, pressing her palms to her temples. What is this?" she whispered to herself. The memories were faint, fragmented, like pieces of a dream she couldn't remember. But one thing was certain, the name Lily made her heart ache in a way she couldn't explain. The encounter. The next morning, Maya went to the city's soup kitchen. It was run by volunteers, kind people who often handed out warm meals to the homeless. As she stood in line, she overheard two workers talking. "Did you hear? That millionaire, Richard Hayes, is offering a reward again," one said. "He's still searching for his daughter, even after all these years." Maya froze. The man's name echoed in her mind. Richard Hayes, the one from last night. She turned to the woman beside her. "Excuse me," she asked timidly, "where can I find him?" The woman frowned. "Why would a girl like you need to find a man like him?" Maya hesitated. I think I might know something about his daughter." The woman's eyes widened. "You better not be joking, child. That man has been through enough." "I'm not," Maya whispered. "Please, just tell me." The revelation. Later that evening, Maya stood outside the tall iron gates of the Hayes mansion. Her hands trembled as she pressed the buzzer. The guard frowned at her. "What do you want?" "I need to see Mr. Hayes," she said. "It's about his daughter." The guard scoffed. "You and 100 others. Go away. Please," she begged. "Just tell him it's about Lily." The guard hesitated. Something about her tone, desperate, yet honest, made him pause. He made a quick call, and moments later, the gates opened. Richard appeared, looking weary but curious. "It's you," he said in surprise. "The girl from last night." Maya nodded nervously. "Sir, I know this will sound crazy, but I think I might be your daughter." Richard stared at her in disbelief. "What?" "I don't remember much," Maya said quickly, "but I've been having flashes, memories, since I saw that picture. A house with a red door, a woman with green eyes, a man calling me Lily." He took a step closer, his voice trembling. "Do you have any proof?" She shook her head. "No. I was found wandering the streets when I was about 7. They said I'd been abandoned. I don't remember anything before that." Richard's breath caught. Lily was 6 when she disappeared. The test. Within days, Richard arranged for a DNA test. He didn't want to hope had betrayed him too many times, but he couldn't deny the pull in his heart. When the results came back, the world stopped. 99.9% match. Richard's knees buckled. Tears streamed down his face as he whispered, "Lily, my baby girl." Maya, Lily, stood frozen. Her lips trembled. "So, it's true." He pulled her into his arms, sobbing uncontrollably. "I thought I lost you forever. I searched every corner of this world for you." She cried too, overwhelmed by emotions she couldn't name. For the first time in her life, she felt the warmth of belonging, the safety of a father's embrace. The truth behind the pain. When the initial joy faded, questions began to rise. What had happened all those years ago? Who had taken her? Detectives reopened the case, and the shocking truth soon emerged. Lily had been kidnapped by a nanny who wanted ransom money. But after the plan failed, the woman panicked, abandoned Lily miles away, and fled the country. The little girl, disoriented and terrified, had wandered the streets until she collapsed, and was taken by a struggling orphanage that soon went bankrupt. Her records vanished with it. By the time Richard's men searched those areas, she was already lost in the system. The pain was unbearable, but the truth also brought closure. The nightmare was over. The struggle to belong. Despite the reunion, Maya, or Lily, found it hard to adjust. She wasn't used to soft beds, warm meals, or servants calling her Miss Hayes. She often sneaked out to the streets at night, giving food and blankets to homeless children. One evening, her father found her at the same bridge where they had first met. "Maya," he said softly, "why do you keep coming here?" She smiled sadly. Because I used to be one of them. I can't just forget that. He nodded slowly, tears glistening in his eyes. You have your mother's heart. She turned to him. Then maybe we can use what we have to help them, the ones who are still out there, like I was. That night, a new mission was born. The Foundation of Hope. Together, Richard and Lily launched the Lily Hope Foundation, dedicated to helping homeless children find families, education, and shelter. The story of the lost daughter who found her way home spread across the world, inspiring millions. Television hosts, newspapers, and social media couldn't stop talking about it. But for Richard and Lily, the true joy wasn't in fame, it was in every child they helped, every tear they wiped away, every broken soul they gave a second chance to. One day, during a charity event, a little girl came up to Lily. She was barefoot, her hair tangled, but her eyes sparkled. Miss Lily, she said shyly, are you really a princess? Lily laughed softly. No, sweetheart. I'm just like you. I was lost once too. The girl's smile widened. Then maybe one day, I can be like you. Lily knelt down, placing her hands gently on the girl's shoulders. You already are. You're brave, and that's where it begins, the full circle. Years passed. The bridge that had once been Maya's shelter was rebuilt, clean, safe, with a sign that read, Lily's Bridge of Hope, for every child who believes they are alone. Every Christmas, Lily visited it. She sat under the same sky where she once shivered in the cold, now surrounded by warmth and laughter. Her father often joined her, his hand resting gently on hers. You saved me, you know, he said one evening. She smiled. No, Dad. You saved me first. He chuckled softly. No, Lily, you showed me what love really means. It's not about giving, it's about finding someone worth giving everything to. Epilogue. That night, Lily walked to the edge of the bridge and looked up at the stars. The city lights sparkled below, and for a moment, she thought of the little girl she once was, cold, hungry, invisible. Then she thought of all the children who still waited for someone to say the same words she once heard. Don't cry, your daughter is alive. Those words had changed everything, not just for her, but for her father, for hundreds of children, and for the world that needed to be reminded. Sometimes, even the smallest act of kindness can resurrect a life thought lost. And as the night wind brushed her face, Lily whispered into the dark. Thank you, Maya, for never giving up on Lily. Moral message. Kindness is not measured by wealth or status, it's born in the human heart. A single moment of compassion can heal years of pain. And sometimes, the people we least expect are the ones who carry our lost miracles back to us.